Hi everyone, thanks so much for joining me. In this video, I'm going to cover some supine twists or reclining twists. So we'll be laying down, and it's a really, twists are wonderfully cleansing for the spine. And I'm just going to give a few cues to really help keep the spine in alignment so you get the optimal opening in your twist. A couple things that might be helpful: a block, a strap, just for some variations that I'm going to show, but definitely not required. So we're going to go ahead and lay down on the mat, okay? And you want to make sure that you feel ready enough, to go into a twist. So the first one is just with both knees bent, okay? So you want to keep a sense of neutral, okay? So I don't want to tuck. I really want to keep everything nice and spacious. So the first thing I would do is just bring the legs in and take them side to side and just kind of check in with how everything feels and not land. Okay, so I'm not going to land the knees. Okay, I'm just going to go side to side. And then when I feel like, okay, I want to explore landing, then what I'm going to do is, so I'm going to take my knees toward the camera, which for me is to the left. Okay, so I'm going to lift my seat and shift it to the right and then lower it. So when I bring my knees up and take them to the left, and this is where it might be helpful, okay, to have a block if it feels too extreme here, to land the knees. But anyway, because I shifted my seat, and I still might have to, shift it a little bit, but the shift keeps my spine in alignment once I go into my twist. So I'm trying to keep both shoulder blades down. Mostly, you don't want to struggle, you don't want to feel like you're pinching or straining at your neck to keep the shoulders down, but it's more of an exploration, right? You want a seamless exploration of the breath. You could add more intention to this by hugging a block between the thighs, okay? You could think of this a little bit as a twisting chair. Twisting chair might be, a little bit higher up here, but still, it has these components, okay? And then if you wanted to add a little bit more to this, I'm going to be turning my head away from the camera. I'm going to lift up my head, shift it to the left, lower it, and then turn right. And once again, I've kept the channel open in the spine, okay? Smooth, deep breaths. Then you unwind, so you have to realign. As we release, I'm going to lower my feet, realign, and then pause in between sides. I'm a little bit off my mat here, okay? And then just feeling that asymmetry, okay? The impact of the twist, and then taking it to the other side. So again, if I take the knees that way, then I need to lift, shift my seat to the opposite direction that my knees will go, lowering, okay? And then taking the knees, okay? And then adding, so it's the most comfortable. I don't know that it's really dangerous, but you lose out on some of the benefit of it if you don't tweak the position so that your spine is in this optimal position. So I'm going to lift my head, shift it toward the direction of my knees, lower it, and then when I gaze toward the camera, it's a seamless line. And then I'm looking for a sense of openness, breathing, okay? Realign, coming back. Now the next one that I want to show is a single leg twist. I'm going to make the same adjustment, and then I'm going to lift my seat, shift it, lower it, but this time I'm going to straighten, okay, the bottom leg, and bending that top one, okay, and just guiding it. So here, sometimes I get into the pose and I feel like I still need to tweak it. I still need to shift my seat a little bit, okay? So you don't have to hook the top foot behind the leg. It just gives me some leverage. And I'm working at making sure I'm not hiking up this hip too much. If you watch the knee to chest pose video, okay, that idea of a strap being around your hip and kind of strapped around the other foot, kind of pushing it to create space in the hip. Again, trying to keep both shoulder blades down. Sometimes I'll dance between lowering the knee, shoulder will lift up, and then I draw the shoulder down, knee lifts up, and I go back and forth until I get the most openness. something I like to add to this position, just because it's comfortable for my body, is actually to bend this leg, okay, the bottom leg, but back, okay, potentially catching the hand and foot. So I'm going to be adding a quadricep stretch for the bottom leg as I'm in this twist, only as long as, okay, so it has to feel good. For me, this just, it's delicioso. I love it, okay, but still I want to keep the heart open, the hips open, breathing, and then carefully unwind, pausing in between sides, okay, and just checking in. So I'll show that the other way. So lifting, shifting, lowering, okay, then, right, coming into this, trying to keep the spine in alignment, okay, maybe adding this component, okay, and yet still I'm taking an internal view, okay, trying to look inward with the path of the breath and really making sure that the channels are as seamless as I can possibly sense, okay, and breathing, and then carefully releasing. So at no point did I feel any pain in my hips, knees, ankles. I just wanted to keep the channels open, nice and clear, okay, checking in here, and then carefully, okay, returning to a seated position, checking in with your seated position, just noticing the effects, okay, and just seeing how you feel, hopefully all positive. So reclining twists, very relaxing, very, right, hopefully giving you a sense of length and space, maybe have to fix the hair, but hopefully just feeling good post-pose. So I hope that this was helpful and would love to hear from you. Have a wonderful day. Namaste.